Okay, the first section we're going to look at is using variables. And a variable is a symbol, usually a letter, that represents one or more numbers. An algebraic expression is a mathematical phrase that can include numbers, variables, and operation symbols. Some examples of algebraic expressions are 6.50h and sometimes called variable expressions. Let's look at some of the words that we will see when we write algebraic expressions. The first one, more than, plus, or add, means addition, such as n plus 7. Next we have less than, difference, or subtract, which means subtraction, or n minus 7. If you see the words product or multiply, that means multiplication, which can be written as 7n, or you could write it as 7 times n, or you could use 7 with the dot n. Those all mean multiplication. When we see quotient or divide, that means division, so you can write division as a fraction, such as n over 7, or we could say n divided by 7. An equation is a mathematical sentence that uses an equal sign. And an equation that contains one or more variables is an open sentence. Alright, let's look at some examples. So it says write an algebraic expression for each phrase. Number 1 says the quotient of 4 plus 2 and c. Alright, so when we see the word quotient, we have to be thinking division. So we could write that as 4.2 divided by c, or we could write that as a fraction, 4.2 over c. Number 2 says t minus 15. So minus implies subtraction, and we're just going to write that as it's read left to right. So t minus 15. Number 3, the sum of n and 8. So sum tells us it's addition. So we'll go left to right again, n plus 8. And number 4 says 6 less than b. So less means subtraction, but anytime you see the word than, it's going to switch the order. So actually, we're going to write b minus 6 for the last one. In our last two examples, we're going to write an equation for each situation. Number 5 says Track 1 Media sells all CDs for $15. And it says write an equation that represents the total cost. So when we don't know something, we're going to use a variable. So if we're writing an equation for total cost, I'm going to use C to represent cost, and let's use D to represent the CDs. So if cost is equal to the number of CDs we purchase, and if they're $15 each, we would multiply the two. So, and also, we would write our number before our variable. So we'd have cost equals 15 times the number of CDs we purchase, or C equals 15D. Okay, and our last one says write an equation to show the total income from selling tickets to a school play for $5 each. So they're $5 each, and we want to write it for the total income. So we could use a T for that, for total income. And we're selling tickets to school play, so why don't we use P to represent the play. All right, so total income will equal $5. Now per ticket, again, multiplication, so we can just put 5P. So T equals 5P.